Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie. I'm going to show you today a special program. I guess I should call it a long program because it's a really ambitious attempt from me to show you how English is translated into Chinese from a poem. So this is the poem we're talking about. It's probably 100 years ago, written by Samuel Ullman. And it's not well known here, but somehow it was passed, not somehow, I will know exactly show you the pathway because General McArthur, when he was overseeing the Second World War, toward the end of it, he was positioned in, stationed in Japan, and he used this poem in his speeches and also framed this poem in his office. So people, he's the victor and people highly regard Victor over there, and whatever he said probably held in high esteem, and somehow that was in Japan, and then it passed to China in 2022, and then Chinese start to circulate this poem. I guess it kind of speaks to the aging population over there because it talks about youth, and this is some valued property that's kind of waning or on the down for a lot of Chinese people, or at least that's how people feel then. So let me read through the entire poem, and then I'll dissect paragraph by paragraph how it was translated. And now we are really see languages are in use, in action. And just by the first impression, you can see Chinese is a lot shorter. And after I show you how it was translated, probably it's like 95% of the information, not everything is literally translated, because some portion the author does get very wordy. Okay, youth. Youth is not a time of life. It is a state of mind. It is not a matter of rosy cheeks, red lips, and supple knees. It is a matter of the will, a quality of the imagination, a vigor of the emotions. It is the freshness of the deep springs of life. Youth means a temperamental predominance of courage over timidity of the appetite for adventure over the love of ease. This often exists in a man of 60, more than a body of 20. Nobody grows old merely by a number of years. We grow old by deserting our ideals. Years may wrinkle the skin, but to give up enthusiasm wrinkles the soul. Worry, fear, self-distrust bows the heart and turns the spirit back to dust. Whether 60 or 16, there is in every human being's heart the lure of wonder, the unfailing childlike appetite of what's next, and the joy of the game of living. In the center of your heart and my heart, there is a wireless station, so long as it receives the messages of beauty, hope, cheer, courage, and power from man and from the infinite, so long are you young. When the aerials are down and your spirit is covered with snows of cynicism and the ice of pessimism, then you're grown old, even at 20. But as long as your aerials are up and to catch the waves of optimism, there's hope. You may die young at 80. Okay, so this is the Chinese translation. We are going to go by each actually sentence or phrase. Oh, I think this is the second one. It's not working. Okay, first paragraph. Youth is not a time of life. Okay, so I think how I'm going to do is, because if I'm throwing you all that Chinese words, probably is too much. So I'm just going to use my mouse to show you where exactly it's located. So you can see structurally how the two language corresponds. Okay, use. It's not. So it's not. In Chinese, we always have the negation before verb. So we have is and then not. Okay, okay, one, that's we don't have like and the, we don't have articles like that. And so if I say and then we just use one, and we add something, because when we say any number of things, we always add the measurement. It's a really good habit. Okay, so we use segment. This is the segment as the measurement of a, you know, length, a duration of time. Then this is life and time. So we get rid of off and we position life in front of time, right? This just means that. And we just flip over the position and skip the off. And then we add, we skip the 8. There's no point of saying this using a referral again here. And we know it's in the same sentence and we're talking about the same subject, which is youth. And over here, we add a but over there, just to make sure the reader understand it's a flip, it's a twist. And then this is right? Again, our measurement is like a kind, that kind. And then mind state, right? And then here, we skipped the it is. Again, that's that statement about what is, what it is not. That to us is redundant. We are still talking about the same thing. Even skip that part. And here is just say, okay, this is not. And then this is something very different. A matter of, right? In English is not a matter of. And then, but in Chinese, we say with. Okay, so I guess with is the of. And then matter is the guan. Okay, so 无关, not related to with the above. Okay, so we always say 与无关. So the matter of, not a matter of, is at the very end. And then this is rosy cheeks, red lips, and 你 joint, make it obvious, right? It talks about the joint, supple. And okay, so here again, skip the it is. Even a matter of is like redundant. And then here is another twist. So this is like, however, kind of bring your attention, try to give you a sense of suspense or surprise. 在乎 is, well, I guess this is a matter of, okay, so I guess a matter of is there, okay. So 在乎 basically is about. So however is about, and then the will. And you see here we have li and li again. So we use the will and the imagination together with force to take place of like a matter of, well, the quality of. I mean, the author tries to distinguish, I guess, this matter, quality, vigor are the kind of quantified measurement of the kind of abstract qualities of people, right? So quantifiable quantification of a quality. So that's the structure, boom, 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 3 of them. But in Chinese, we just use the li at the end to quantify it. So it is a force. It is a force. And then at the end, the emotions, right? And the vigor, we don't have, we don't ever have an expression of 情感力. We don't use that to describe a 情感. but instead I translate the vigor as 充沛. It means abundance, so abundance of emotions. And okay, so we have is here. So it is escaped, right? And deep springs of, life's spring. So this is a connector. So these are connectors, the and the zhi and the. So there are several connectors up there. So this is kind of very already westernized Chinese structure to make sure we are connecting parts, stringing it together by connector words, right? So it's deep life spring. Okay, you can see the sequence is different, right? And freshness is here. So it's not freshness begin. We use the, so if we have all that as a description of the freshness, we always put what you're talking about at the very end and have the descriptors in front of it. Okay, and you see life spring, we get rid of, well, I guess the off is this zhi. So we have put the descriptor in front of the what we're talking about, and then put the deep. So it's deep life spring, and then freshness. Okay, I hope you can see the structure there. Okay, use means, so use means with courage, replace timidity. Okay, so this, temperamental predominance of and timidity of the appetite, so that's skipped because that's too much, too worthy to even handle. And I guess like in Chinese, we do have temperamental predominance. It's a little bit pretending for us language-wise. We just get the key concept there. So we want courage, we don't want timidity. That's it. You don't have to get further qualifiers of that. And with adventure, replace ease. So love of ease, this love we skipped because we do have like a 贪图安逸, and that's omitted because we have adventure. So here you can see the structure actually is two nouns, like a big concept. So this one replace this one replace this one. We just grab the key concepts up there. We get rid of the worthiness of the love of, or of the appetite, of the predominance, like that's extra information. And this, okay, so here we added quantifier or the subject matter. We verbalize the what this is referring to here to make it obvious for the reader. So we use this quality and we use one quality, right? This quality often exists at 60-year-old body. We use body to make sure, okay, we're referring to that person and not 20-year-old. So I guess the body was used on a 60 instead of a 20 here. That just because we're actually this passage was mainly directed to the audience in their, second segment in life, right? So people who feel like youth already departed, and so this is encourage them to revisit what's the definition of youth, right? And then the main character here, or the reader, mostly 60s. So that body, that descriptor used on, not really descriptor, but the attributes of the body, 60-year-old are used on them instead of used on the 20s, right? But here, I guess the author in English are emphasizing 20-year-old is nothing but just a body. Kind of ageism over there, okay? Then nobody, 没有人, so negation. Nobody, we have to use 3 Chinese characters. Actually, we can skip the 有. So 没人, nobody. Okay, nobody, only because of age increase and aging, like grows old. So we do have like the and these are connectors, okay, to make it logically makes sense. And we grow old is because, well, I guess by in Chinese is difficult to translate. So we use is because, giving up, deserting ideals, and skip the hours ideals because it's implied, right? Okay, so if you notice, I'm putting together some visuals to illustrate the essence, the gist of the passage. And here is one of my favorite yoga practitioner, and she shows her progress on Instagram, and she is, you see, gray haired, but she can do something I cannot do. That's my goal. That's my, that she represents so well what is youth. It's really age defying by your action, not by cosmetics, okay? And age may wrinkle. So age make skin wrinkle, okay? So wrinkle the skin. In English, we have the verb over the subject, right? But in Chinese, it's difficult to, we sometimes can do that too, but with a 使, we make it obvious, like you are wrinkling to the skin, like you're working on that. So, and when you have working on that, so this on that thing was positioned before the action, 起皱, wrinkle. But give up. So you see, we don't have to, right? We don't have to be grammatically correct by keeping a to over there. So we have give up enthusiasm, however, makes your soul wrinkles. Okay, so that's the Chinese. I guess in this sense, English is more efficient because you can have wrinkles to soul directly, but we have to say make the soul wrinkles. Okay, and so this is worry, fear, self-destruct. Make, again, another, makes the soul or the heart both. So this is like a bend, and makes the spirit back to dust. So yeah, we have back, and we don't have to use to there again. And you can see this we have to, it's kind of a cement of the language, right? We have to make sure it's obvious that the action is taken on these nouns. So this is heart, this is spirit. And we don't really have turns. I guess this carry on as the turns, but English words like that, like make something into something, for Chinese, we'll just make it usual. If we switch it out, translate it as change, like a turn basically means change, right? It will be more difficult for Chinese. So we just go down this like well-beaten path of make something into something. We always use that make, so people just automatically know. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit wordy. So this is like regardless. So this is whether, right? Whether is 60-year-old or 16. Okay, so here you see the language structure. We have 60. This is 6. This is 0. That's 60. And this is 0. Well, this is actually 10. Okay, so this is a 6. 10, so that's our 60, and this is 10, 6, that's our 16, right? And we have 3, it means years old, so we have that. And everybody, all heart hold curiosity, so or wonder. So every feeling heart, so we have this heart thing going on over there, and then keyword is wonder, right? So this lure of heart, that's skipped. So and then we further, that is that childlike, to make it obvious, like we're comparing, okay, childlike, this is like, to future. So this is what's next, right? So this is to futures expectation. So I guess this is the appetite translated as expectations, and the living game, the space. So living game space, joy. Okay. And in you, me, heart, middle, okay, there is, or there exists, right? There is, again, we have our measurement unit of measurement there. So this is stations. It's like a building. So this is like a building of wireless station. This is electricity station, right? If only it, so it's like so long it still can receive from others and infinite, because here they also only use the infinite with a capitalized I. So that's kind of, I guess, the philosophy about 100 years ago when people first look at like expand, like their universe all of a sudden expand because the science progress, right? So they no longer probably at the time use religion as some cover of the unknown. So instead they use the fancy word, the catchword back then, which is the infinite. So infinite means the unknown. So we are here using the infinite, like no limit. That's our infinite. So this is no limit, time, space. Okay, that's our in limit. And then we position these nouns or qualities afterwards. After this connector word, we have beauty, hope, cheer, courage, and power. And then you still, this is kind of emphasized, you still are, okay, you still are young. And because we don't have, you see here, we have youth, this is our noun, and then we add a de at the end to make it, transform it into adjective. So this is our young, 年轻的. And when 年轻 by itself, it's youth. Okay, that's how we transform. When your Arial is down, and actually we have an action verb here, it's almost like intentionally let down. And your spirit, okay, this is something. So this is when we translate passive. So this is covered, right? So this is our passive, like you, this is done by, this is our corresponding by. So cynicism, 怀疑论, cynicism, snow. So again, we have this connector, and then we always flip what's this before the noun here. So we have to cynicism, and then we have this connector, the, and then snow. And we don't have plural form, right? And we don't have to say 雪门 to make it obvious as it's plural form. It's just understood. Like for us, counting snow is not even in our conscious. We just use snow. We have no idea of snows here, okay? And then pessimism, ice, right? And you see, English is even inconsistent in a way of snow is S, but ice is singular. So illogic plays in English. And then this is covered, okay? So we have by, this and this covered. So it's a different structure. And by that time, you are officially old, right? And even if you only have 20 years. So we say have 20 years. But if, or this is as long as, I guess this is like only want. Interesting. I never view my language like that. This, if translated, is only want, is as a condition. as a conditional connector. So it's like only want your aerial continue upright, upright. So 树 is an upright position, and 起 is the motion to stay upright. Capture the, so this is kind of a dao, it's like a result of captured. That optimism, so we use ism, whatever ism, either with 论, so we use 论 or 主义 as this ism thing, so we know it's a type of school of thinking. Optimism, okay. The waves, so again the connector, the here, so we have optimism waves with a connector, the, which is corresponding to the off, but the structure always flipped like that. And you still have hope, okay. So there is hope, but we say you still have a hope at 80 years old. 英年早逝, so this is young, no, 早 is early, and 逝 is die, so die young, but we make sure you get the young part. 英年 is your young, 英 is like your best, your blooming years, early death. Okay, so that's the die young. So we do have a corresponding concept. Okay, so now let's, I hope it's too, I applaud you if you get to this part, because it's kind of worthy to try to explain how the two language mechanism, like structurally, making sentences and how what information are added, what are removed, what are flipped. So it's quite a torture, I would say. So now we are coming down to the key concepts. Okay, so I highlight anything that's essential concepts in this poem to explain the Chinese corresponding concept, because these are big words and these are essential concepts. So 年轻 youth, we have 年轻, and here is original character of 年, which is kind of a person bending with this hay structure. So this is plant, this is a big tall plant, so it's somebody carrying big tall plant on their back, which is a signifier of harvesting. So we count year, like the lunar year. We don't really regard the sun, we regard what people do. So by the end of a year, it's harvesting. That's the moment of your whole year's work come to fruition, right? So that's harvesting, and that's our marker of a year. So 年轻 is like a year light. That's how we express youth, year light, like you don't have much numbers on there yet. And life, 生命. 生 is birth, 命 is life. So birth, life means life again. So this is our Ming. I don't exactly know. Okay, so this is a mouse. Okay, and this is kind of a housing structure, and then this is I don't know how to explain that. This is somebody is saying something, giving you orders. And so I guess one interpretation of Ming is to giving orders or receiving orders. So that's kind of your track, your script. You are following your script. You was born into this world and are following a script. That's 生命. So I find it, okay, yoga pose pictures, contemporary, right? Instagrammers, pictures, images to try to find the similarities with the Chinese character. So this is this structure with the person. I mean, isn't that awesome? And like this too, like one is below, the other one is above with this thing sticking around. Okay, so 精神, okay. In Chinese, we only have 精神, but in English, you do distinguish mind, spirit. I guess I can say I too here. So we do use mind and spirit separately, like state of mind, and then talking about your spirit. But in Chinese, we don't distinguish. I guess we can add mind is more like something in your head. We have to translate it like a head related word. But here, 精神 is like 精 is essence, the essential, the gist, and 神 is the oracle, the message from the divine. So this was said to be the lightning patterns that you see in the sky. So when you get a lightning marked on the sky, right, it's a faraway telegraph from the superpower to you to receive, and whoever has the, be a good reader of decoding the oracle from, the telegraph marked on the sky temporarily are going to have a kind of a table thing, and then this is their ceremony to receive. I guess this is the wireless station to receive message from the sky. So that's the origin, and I see this pattern thing as this pattern thing, and I think this picture coincides well with the 神. This is our 神, and eventually we use this word as a representation of the concept of God. We use 神, just one word, one character by itself as God. Okay. Ease. So love of ease, right? So we have ease here, and we have 安逸. So 安 is, you see, this is a domestic housing structure with a chimney on the top, and then inside is a woman, is a female figure, and kind of like structure and something cross-legged in between, well, cross-armed, I guess. So if you have housing, you have a woman inside housing, or woman feel safe inside the housing. So that's the origin of the concept of security, safety. So that's the sense. And E is, I guess it's leisure walking. So this is the walking symbol, and this is the sound maker. So it's leisurely walking, taking a walk. So ease is translated as you have the sense of safety and you take things slowly. So you're not in a rush or in a hurry of doing something, and you don't feel threatened by anything. That's the kind of ease concept. Okay, 热情 is our enthusiasm. 热 is hot, heated. So we have the fire burning at the bottom, and then we have the this 直 is also has a hand gesture, and then I don't know exactly why is that, but I guess the whole top portion is the sound maker, so it make it sound like something like 热, and then the fire. So basically, if you see this, it means something related to temperature, right? And 情, if you see on the left side, the 3 strokes, so that's heart symbol, so which is this heart symbol. And then you have this 清, which is a sound maker on the right. So top down, left, right, 2 classical Chinese constructions characters. So the heart, so this related something with emotion, and like a heated emotion or heated feeling. Heated feeling is our translation of enthusiasm. And the 情, you see, it got this nice pattern down here. 青, originally it means a color between blue and the green, so it's kind of balanced color. So that's how we use this 青 as blue and green color, and it's kind of balanced, as peaceful. It's I guess it's the appreciated color in, at least in Chinese painting. And then we have a heart symbol. So this looks like somewhat a heart symbol, and this pattern thing looks like the right portion. I just find it fun to find the corresponding. And 博弈, game, okay, game of living, right? Game of living. So this is 弈, original character, it has the two hand symbol, which is 3 finger, 2 hand symbol like that, right? 博弈 has to be like between at least the 2 players. That's our game concept of gaming, right? So 2 players are playing something. It looks almost have a perspective over there. Like, I have no clue what that is. But 博弈, 博, okay, I should look better. But okay, this character 博, when we say PhD, it's 博士. I guess so. That means you're really knowledgeable. You really spend a lot of time doing something. So that's kind of 博. And the yi is like 2 players are battling. So with a lot of training and knowledge, 2-person battling. So that's our gaming concept. Then 悲观论. Okay, so again, 论 is our ism thing, right? And then this pessy, this negative, downward, down spiraling mentality is translated as 悲观. We also have a 乐观, which is optimism. We just switch out this 悲 with 乐. So 悲, again, we have a heart symbol at the bottom, right? You see that? And you see this top. The top is a negation. It means it's called fate. Fate is another negation word. It's almost like a religiously used negation word when we translate some classical Buddhism teachings that's often used over there. And fate, you see, it's a mirror image of this, almost like, I don't know, almost like a table. Almost like a sideways placed table, but I guess the origin of that is like birds flying. It's one side of the wing, this is another side of the wing, and as a flying animal, normally it's 2 sides, 2 wings, right? That should be a balanced wing, but in Chinese, when we depict flying, we only use one side of the wings to represent both. And so if you have a mirror image of that, that means a copy of that or the opposite of that. So fei basically means the opposite. So you already have your set of wings, and then you kind of flip it, you make a mirror copy of that. So it's the opposite. That's how we negate. That means you're going the opposite way. So there is an assumption here, I guess. That means the right way is 乐观, like you should go upward, right? You should go for the joy or the peace direction. And if you go to the opposite direction, that becomes the negative thought coming in. So that's the kind of 悲. And the 观 is your mentality. So that's why we have joy mentality or sadness, sorrow mentality. That's our pessimism. Yeah, I guess that's the end of it. Thank you very much for staying this long with me. I hope you from this get a sense of how English is converted to Chinese. It's not exact mapping, and Chinese have their habits of expressing things, right? Flip it, have this way, and have to always have negate before the verbs. It's a lot of fun to walk between the 2 languages and see language behave a little bit different. And it's even more exciting for me to find any similarities that, oh, the 2 languages actually view the world similarly. That's even better, because there are universal themes of like common human experience. So thank you very much for your time. Hope you check in with me again and continue on this journey, 1 word a day. See you another day.